everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty Group, and welcome back to this week's Pick 5. Now, if you've traveled to major world-class cities around the globe, you'll probably note that they all have better transit systems than Toronto. I remember going to Japan in 2005 and I could not believe the system that they had. It was absolutely wild. And heck, you don't have to go much further than New York in our own backyard to see what a major city should aspire to have. Now, Toronto does not have a good public transit system. We really don't have a below average one if you were to compare to cities around the globe. But what we do have is a little something called the LRT, which is supposed to finally be opened. I think it was supposed to be open in like 1982 or something like that. It certainly feels like it. And with that will come a connection between the east side and the west side of the central core. And I have to wonder if that's going to affect real estate prices for folks that right now are taking buses, but eventually will be able to take the LRT. I've chosen this area sort of just on the east side of Victoria Park. And I want to look specifically at detached bungalows because that's what most of the housing stock in this area is. Now, interesting to note, the average cost of a 416 detached home is almost $1.7 million. Some of the houses we're going to see today are below $1 million. Now, of course, the average detached, well, on average probably has 2 stories. These are bungalows, but it's worth noting that a lot of redevelopment's going on in this area, and I will show you one particular bungalow today where a McMansion has been built next door. I think these are great investments as it is right now, and specifically for the long term, as this transit hub really starts to open up the city and connect us from east to west. So here's what I mentioned, guys. This is Victoria Park in Eglinton. Okay, call this the Golden Mile if you like. The area we're gonna look in is up and around here. We're gonna look specifically for detached bungalows, and let me go to our MLS, and you can see exactly that, just north of the park. So here's Eglinton, and my idea is essentially, hey, we've got folks that have been taking buses. You know, you take a bus to a bus or you have to walk. It takes a lot longer to get to work or get to anywhere really until along comes the LRT, and it's a complete game changer. So with that in mind, are people now going to start focusing on areas serviced by the LRT? Let's take a look at our property set today. So our first one here, guys, is listed at $899,900. And before I get to that, here's what we want to do for comparing and contrasting today. We want to look at lot size. We want to look at number of beds, number of baths, basements. Are they finished? Do they have an apartment? Because so many of these houses have basement apartments, multi-generational families. I mean, I saw houses in this pocket that have 3 units in them. That's a lot. What's the setup, as I said? Is it multi-unit? Do people want this? What's the driveway? Because I need a private driveway if I'm looking for a detached bungalow. What's the pricing like? And by that I mean, is there a strategy? Are they on their 6th listing? Is it egregiously priced? Is it well priced? Does it have an offer date? And last but not least, what's the days on market showing? So the first one we're going to look at here, guys, is 31 Tedford Drive. So this is a 50-foot lot. That's big. Now, your semi-detached house, let's say in Leslieville, okay, it's on a 15, it's on a 16. Keep that in mind as we look at a detached bungalow on a 50 by 100, priced at $899,900 and sitting on the market for 35 days. Now this has been listed 5 times. They came out at $1,070,000 and they're now at $899,000. Currently set up as a 3-bed plus 1 2-bath. We have our private driveway. We have a 1.5 car garage. I've never seen a half a car. I'd love to see what a half a car looks like. I don't know why we refer to half cars. So inside, and if you've looked at previous Pick 5s, I might be looking at luxury real estate one week. I might be looking at $3 million condos. Keep that in mind. These are $899 bungalows up at Golden Mile. So from the front, we can see beautiful lot size. Took this photo on a fantastic day. Got your private drive, got your 1.5 car garage. And now we'll get in and we'll see, hey, this is a great space. Maybe could use some TLC. This one's actually not bad. It's just not staged. We're used to seeing staged properties throughout the GTA, and especially in my Pick 5. And a note that I had in my last week's Pick 5, I was showing this massive condo up at Bayview in Eglinton and saying 2,800 square foot condo. I don't know which room is which because there's no furniture in any of them. This is why staging is so important, among other reasons. Okay, so this slides out, right? Sliding door out to the front. You've got that little deck that we saw. But without furniture, oh, there you go, they left the table behind. Without furniture, you're kind of wondering like, hey, which room is which? Now, kitchen behind here, you could open that up. You can make a completely open concept if you wanted to. But you've got principal dining, principal living. The kitchen, yeah, okay, it's a bit tired, the cabinets. You could paint these if you wanted to. You could completely change the look and feel with paint, new hardware, or of course you could rip them out and start over. But $899, guys, $899 for a 50-foot lot. And what's so important, the lesson in today's Pick 5 is going to be, I've put some dogs in this Pick 5 just to illustrate the difference between how some people sell or try to sell real estate and how others successfully do so. So every bedroom's a different color, but what you will note is these bedrooms are massive. This is a bedroom. This is big. These are really, really big rooms. And then when you get down to the basement, you're going to see that it might not be pretty, but it's not going to take a heck of a lot, folks, to finish this. I mean, it is finished, don't get me wrong, but this wood paneling, you know, very 1970s, fine, take it off, drywall it. What do you have down here? You have space and you have height. Two things you can't change. So you could have the most beautiful basement in the world with a 5'9" ceiling that's smaller, or you could have this massive, massive glut of square footage with a high ceiling and oh no, darn, I have to rip off this wood. I have to put in some drywall. I have to put in some pot lights. No big deal. Guys, look at the sheer amount of space down here. This is incredible value. And I know it looks dated. And if you watched a previous Pick 5 of mine, as I said, you know, welcome to the annex. Let's look at beautifully renovated $3 million Victorians. And now we're looking at bungalows for $899. Put it in perspective. Look at the size of this backyard. And it's a solid brick bungalow. Can I just please go back to this? Hey, see this right here? This isn't the house next door. This is more of the same house. That's the garage. Look at the size of this thing. And if you really wanted to, without adding a story or digging out, excavating, yeah, you do a little bump out here. Not that you need more space, but that's pretty powerful to think that you can actually add some square footage with these. So 35 days on the market, 50 by 100, $899.9. We started out here with a real winner. So let's go to the next one here, guys. We're gonna keep in a similar price point. Now we're $925. Same 3-bed, 2-bath, same private drive. We're a 44 by 115, so we're 15 feet deeper, but we're narrower in terms of that lot, and this house itself is gonna be narrower. So I would gladly give up depth to get the width. Lot frontage, lot width is far more important than lot depth. So $925, and let's just take a look at Google Maps here. See this? I mentioned, cat's kind of out of the bag now, but I said there's gonna be one property today I'm gonna show you, and you're gonna look at it and see the McMansion built next door. See this monster home? This is your little bungalow here on your 44-foot lot, and here's your driveway, it's on the left, right? Here's what someone built next door. So you're thinking, this has what I need right now. It's detached, okay, I don't wanna share a wall. I need to park, I don't want a street park, I don't want a mutual. I've got my private, it's got 3 beds, it could use some TLC. It works for now, but guess what? 10 years from now, every single one of these bungalows is gonna be built up like this guy next here. This guy here, this guy next door. Okay, so let's go inside the house. So from the front, and again, they all kind of look like this. They've got your awnings and you know, your kind of angel brick here. And you get inside and yeah, you've got a stucco ceiling, you've got some original trim, and you've got some cords and some blinds and tracks hanging down and such. Guys, this doesn't need much. This needs a coat of paint, and you could redo the floors. And maybe you don't love this rounded archway. I kind of do. You get rid of your chandelier here and your window coverings. Look at the space. That's it. It's square footage here. I'm not afraid of a coat of paint. I'm not afraid of redoing flooring. This is not a pretty kitchen, but it's got space, it's got size. Those were synonyms, that's the same thing. You could open this wall up if you wanted to. You could make it open concept. And I much preferred the previous property at $899 because it's on a 50-footer. But part of what I want to do today is educate you on the price, how these people are pricing, how they're listing. This has been on the market for 47 days, has not been reduced in price. And we're going to see, as I said, some real doozies in terms of what people are listing for. Because you could take this exact house that's $925, you could have the person across the street with the identical property listed for $1,125,000. That's what we're seeing. And that's really the microcosm of the 2025 market. It's just pricing all over the place. And here you go. Basement, they've put down a laminate, right? They haven't changed this original ceiling, but they put down a laminate, at least looks better for photos at least down there. You could do the extra bedroom, you could do the rec room. As I said, so many of these properties have multi-units. So many of them are multi-generational families. And some of them are just looking for a little additional income. And there you go, the one room they didn't finish. So I can't speak to the legality of those basement apartments, but I can speak to the prominence of those basement apartments and the fact that, yes, people do rent them. Here's you go, unfinished space. And here's, you really get a sense of how building changed from, I mentioned Victorians, for example, where the basement was never meant to be for residential use. And obviously 50, 60, 70 years later, they might not finish them, but you've got the ceiling height. You can certainly finish that with ease. And here you go, another huge backyard. This is what I'm talking about, this house next door. This absolutely underscores the point that I'm trying to make in today's Pick 5 is the investment potential for the long term. Huge lots. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one here, guys. That's Shandara. I was joking off camera. I was saying the names of the streets. I kind of know where I am. Next is Muldrew. You kind of, you know where you are. So Muldrew, 989 Muldrew. Now we're at a 40. We started at a 50. We went to a 44. Now we're at a 40, but we started at 100 deep. Then we went to 115. Now we're at 125. So again, not to belabor this point, lot width is so much more important. Would you rather have a 50 by 100 or a 40 by 150? Not even close, a 50 by 100. Of course, you want the frontage. So here you go. This one's been on the market 20 days at 989, 900. This one here, detached, private, sorry, I'm looking at the garage there. So detached garage, still has a private driveway, but this one's got some value in it because of the condition. So think of the first two. They weren't magazine worthy. Now let's go inside this one. Oh, okay. Well, you have my interest, and now you have my attention. No, how's the line go? You have my interest, now you have my curiosity. I can't remember, but this is in a lot better shape. Now it's a little bit smaller, as I mentioned, because of the 40-foot lot. And you know what? You might just say like, it's simple Home Depot reno. Okay, well great, then do it. Go to the other one, go to the first one at $899, buy that, and then do this reno. Because these guys are at $989, and I think that they're going to appeal to a demographic that does not want to do any work. They want move-in condition. Not to say you can't move into the other ones, but they're certainly not as nice as this. So learning today, that's what we're doing. We're looking at the different ways of pricing, ways of selling essentially, broadloom. It's a fancy way of saying carpet. Broadloom, everyone's doing hardwood. Everyone wants hardwood everywhere. I like a nice broadloom. Feels warm under my feet, give me a thick under padding. 3 bedrooms, not as big as that first house that we saw, but $899 to start, $925 our second one, we're $989 now, we're learning. We're learning that we did not renovate the bathroom, no. But we're learning about the way that we price in this area, and the next two properties, guys, oh boy, you're gonna be learning a lot there. So down in the basement, let's take a look. Remember the last 2 basements? It's not rocket science, look, what did they do? They drywalled. I just showed you that one with the 1970s wood paneling, and I said, maybe you could rip it out and drywall it. Hello, that's what we just did here. Now, you still have the electric baseboard, which sucks because it's expensive. But other than that, and then I don't know, this is probably like a shut off or something like that. Other than that, this is what I'm talking about, that first house. I said, would you rather have nice, new and shiny, and lower, or would you rather have ugly as F with a higher ceiling? So picture that first one with that huge basement, and now do this to it. This is perfect. Can't get over those baseboards. Wow. Okay, and wasn't there a bed down here, if I'm not mistaken? Broadloom. There you go. So they did that. They left the ceiling. I mean, you can tell they picked their spots, right, of where they wanted to renovate, but this is a value play. I'm not knocking this. I really am not. This is a great value play, guys. At $989, it's renovated. They didn't renovate every single square inch of it. You know what's funny is these basements, there's always like the extra kitchen cabinets up here. It's like whoever built this in 1962 was like, hey, Lloyd, we got a whole shipment of extra cabinets. Just throw one into every basement. And that's probably how it happened. I have that on authority. Yeah, that's how it happened. Okay, so let's get to the yard. And I mentioned detached garage. The other ones had built-in. So there you are. You're probably not parking in that because you have a 4-car private driveway. There you can see that looks like a new build. That stucco, that looks like it's probably, I don't know, 25 years old or so. But they're not making any more land. We do pick 5s about condos all the time. I did one last week talking about Leaside and how Leaside's a residential area and any new properties are going to be condos. Well, that underscores my point today. We're not building any more land, so you're looking at 50-foot lots detached for under $1 million. That says something. Okay, so now we're going to move into 2 other ones. Again with the names, Droxford, Tedford, Shandara, Muldrew, Droxford, and Lingarde. You might be like, okay, I don't follow, David. I don't know, it just kind of feels like I'm out of Victoria Park in Eglinton. So 34 Droxford. So this is $1,150,000. You can see here PC price change. This is down from $1,230,000. They've listed it 3 times, but this is a 52 by 100. So this has, well, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Let's go to this. Okay, drive available. I think you checked the wrong box. It's a private drive. Imagine if you, I'm not even gonna get into it. Okay, carport, that's what that is there. And then you've got kitchen 1+1. So let's get to the photos for this lovely beast on Droxford. So that's a carport. I remember 2005, I'm in my second year of real estate and I'm out here. I don't know what I'm doing. Houses are like $200,000. I have absolutely I've never seen a carport in my life. They sure didn't teach that in real estate college. Like, hey, I think that roof is hanging down a little bit further than it should. Oh, that's where you park your car. So if you didn't want to park your car inside, but you didn't want to park your car outside, hello, carport. I don't know why I got the giggles all of a sudden. Okay, so this is $1,150,000. So it's a 52-foot lot. So I'll say that based on the fact that we just came from a 40. I'm gonna justify the value a little bit here at $1,150,000, but then it's gotta be a slam dunk inside. To justify $1,150,000, it has to be an absolute knockout. Well, you tell me. It's not exceptionally well staged. We don't stage properties out here. None of them are. But what it is it's renovated. It's a little bit cluttered comparatively, I'm not knocking it, but comparatively to what we expect to see in these magazine-worthy homes. But see the layout here? Can I go back? Okay, see this here, and then just humor me. I'm just gonna go back, guys. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. Rhode Island is neither a road nor an island. Discuss. Okay, that's a line from Saturday Night Live. The character's name was Linda Richmond. What I wanted to show you was this. See this photo? We've got our dining room here, and we've got our living room here, and see this kind of apex here? I don't even know if that's an apex. Geometry majors take me to jail for that. But check this photo out, and now, let's snap. This is what I'm talking about. You see what I mean? You've got your dining, you've got your living, and then you've got your kitchen. This is a more modern version of that first property. That first property was listed at $899,000. This is listed at $1,150,000. And in actual fact, that previous photo made it look a lot bigger because it is. This is a 52-foot lot, but it's got that carport. The first one, those rooms were wider. So what I'm saying to you guys, not to pimp out that first one, but man, that was incredible value. You just need to have the wherewithal to do a renovation. So I think these guys, obviously having priced at $1,230,000, now being at $1,150,000, they're banking on the fact that their reno is gonna net them more than what the other houses are selling for. But to get something that's detached for $899,000 on a 50-foot lot, I just think it's such incredible value. So this is basically what those other properties could be. Doesn't take a heck of a lot. You're talking drywall, lighting, flooring, painting, bathrooms. Bathrooms are tough, man. Bathrooms, it's like, where do you start? You can do a vanity, sure. You can do that. You should do the floors. You can do the floors, you can do the tiles. It's just one thing after the next. So downstairs, we did a basement apartment, and I'll show you what that looks like. I don't love basement apartments necessarily. You've basically got to decide, look, am I ever going to use that space? Because you might say right now, we'd love to have the $1,400 a month coming in. But then one day when you decide, okay, we don't want a tenant anymore, we want to convert that back to single family, what does it cost you to rip out that kitchen and to make that into a rec room and a bedroom and an office and whatever? Because what you might find is you spend a lot of the money that you got from revenue of all those years of renting it to convert it back, which of course, work backwards, connects the dots, is what I'm saying. You should decide in advance if you want it. So really nice yard. They've done a good job with this. It's really just about the price at this point. Big backyard. Can't get over that carport. Can't get over my story about not knowing what a carport was when I was a young agent, but there you go. So one more, guys, the last one here. This one is interesting. This one is a 39.6 foot lot. So it's the narrowest lot. It's priced at $1,365,000, and it was bought for $800,000 in 2018. So here's where you look at the tastes and preferences of individual owners, and you say, is this what we're looking for? So what I suspect happened here was we did a lot of work on the flagstone out front. And that's where some of the price is coming from. And we did a lot of work on the stone out back. And that's, again, where a lot of the price is coming from. So, you know, listen, beautiful backyard, right? Backing onto very mature trees, you know, deep lot and everything. But I think for some people, you know, it's just the price. Because you go back to $899 and you say, could I do that for the $425,000 difference? So this is the last one here. Guys, let's just flip through it. Say we did. All right. Yep. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a lot of couches. But that looks comfortable, is what that looks like. That looks like, I have no friends. I know it's hard to believe, not a social guy. That looks like a spot that you could hang out and talk to people. That's the problem I have, right, with social situations. I have to talk to people and listen to them, and it's like, bleh. Okay, and that's it. That's all our photos. So that's it. That's 38 Lingarde for a mere $1,365,000, which, if my abacus is accurate, is about $465,000 more than the first one, which was on a 50-foot lot, which needed some TLC. This one just had more flagstone and couches. So guys, there's a huge difference between the 5 properties that we saw. I use the word dichotomy. I might use that a lot. But I look at the frontage, which I've talked about way too many times. There's a big difference between a 50 and a 40. I look at the depth. I look at the number of beds and baths. I look at the basement, whether it's finished, whether it's got that kitchen, that extra unit. Do you even want that? If you do, great. If you don't, consider a house that doesn't have it. I look at the condition of the property. I look at the specific location. Say what you want about the last property. I'm pretty sure it backed onto green space, which is awesome, and you can never change that. But there are so many variables with properties like this, and we've barely just begun. We haven't even talked about price, offer dates. Some of these have tried offer dates. Some of them have been listed as many as 5 times. And within that entire geographic area, you are seeing, and this is merely 5 properties. I think there were 15 that were for sale that I could have picked from. You're seeing a lot of inventory. So if you're a buyer and you like this idea and you like this location, my goodness, you have the absolute pick of the litter. So that's it for me for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. If you'd like to have Pick 5 emailed to you directly, go to Toronto Realty blog, click on Pick 5, and you can sign up so that you get an email every single time we release a new episode, which is towards the end of every week, usually on Thursday or Friday. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and join us here next week. And thank you, as always, for watching. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.